Wilson Morales from Black Women TV. Hello, folks. Good to see you guys again. But here we are.
Hey man, how you
How's it
doing?
going?
It's
Good.
great.
So we have this series based on the book. How did you want to make this character your own outside of what's in the book and what's the script calls for? Grantham?
I think for me, it was one of those, a little bit of a catch-22 because he is who we go through the book with and who we go through the series with. So I endeavored to try and make him as honest and truthful as a character that we could like follow around, like try not to hide anything because Tal doesn't really have that much to hide, and try to be as committed to discovery as like we would learn in schools like clown class. Like you have to be like naive almost and innocent so that you can process information the same way the audience would. So that my goal with Tao was to try and make him as believable as possible with also not having any sense of the tragedy and trauma that was waiting for, so that he could endeavor to experience along with us, the audience, and be a good lens of the world.
And
Yeah,
Kimmer?
for me, for Kimmer, I think the book was only useful in some of the like historical factual things that happens between her and Tao, like when he talks about when they got married. And this is because the book is written from Tao's perspective. So anything that's said about Kimmer throughout the book is like tainted by how he feels about her in the moment, what's happening, and it's not very objective. So for me, it was actually a little bit of a release going into the scripts because I felt like, again, everything in the book, I'd say from date and like, this is when we got married, is
Mhm.
taken with his point of view. So I was able to kind of have a fresh slate of who I wanted Kimmer to be when I got to the script and when we got to filming.
I feel like Talcott is playing Jessica Fletcher, trying to figure out what's going on with Kimmer, what's going on with his dad, what happened here. Mariah is bringing him into this picture. You know, what is going to keep Talcott happy? Without trying to get into involved in family. Whenever you have a series and there's a family involved, there's always drama.
I think this is one of those shows and stories where there's always going to be some drama. Like I think Talcott was going through life not on autopilot, but like, oh, okay, I got the picture perfect wife, the picture perfect house. I have a child. I have a great job. My parents are doing fine. We've gone through some stuff in the past where we lost siblings, but now I'm finally like doing life and everything is good. And then the smallest crack happens here, and then it grows and grows and grows. And I think for Tao, as he starts to discover really who he is, and not what he is. Like I think for a long time he was focused on what he was because he's great because Kimmer's great. So if you have a great wife who's doing great things out in the world, that means you're great too. Whereas he was not ambitious. He didn't really go for the brass ring. He settled where he was. And I think the process of the show helps him discover what his actual true self is, and not the things that he wanted to be because his father wanted him to be it or his wife wanted him to be it.
Considering you guys play a married couple and Taka's all about rap music, does Kimmer have a hobby like him in terms of listening to rap music, or she's just too serious?
Her hobby is her work, her career. Like that is the thing that she is working for. I think I did when I was thinking about what Kimmer might have done in the past, and I think I conflated a little bit of myself in there, but I felt like Kimmer was an equestrian. She was an equestrian, and she was in competition because I don't know if you know horse girls, they are competitive. So I think, as far as like a hobby, maybe in a pastime, that would be it. But, as Kimmer, as you see her in the time that you see her, her main focus is she's got her eyes on the prize in her career.
To wrap it up, Grant, to talk about working with, Forrest, who's done plenty of shows and series, and just, what are you getting from his, working opposite him?
I get to become a better actor. It was literally a lesson every time. And from his humility and his wonderful character and his niceness and just like being able to sit next to him and just be like, well, what do you do in between takes? Oh, I see. You gather it. I'm a gatherer too. I learn something every day. And it's still kind of like a shock to like, yeah, we're in this together. Like that's in the poster, that's my hand on his shoulder. Like, but it was a gift.
So congrats on the shows, congrats on the roles. I believe in the show, so I'm gonna talk to you guys come season 2.
Thank you.
Good seeing
Let's
you.
make it so. All right. See you guys later. Wilson Morales from Black Community TV. Hello, folks. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
So I'm looking at this series, and the first thing I'm going to go to you, Bryan, because you seem to just be there, but paying no mind to what Tiffany's character is doing all over town. You know? So I'm asking myself, okay, at what episode does the shoe drop and he's not who he says to be?
Maybe that'll be a season 2 episode. Howard's got a busy life, and he's supportive of Mariah, his wife, played by Tiffany, and I think he's trying to help her through her grief, but also letting her go down this conspiracy spiral, and but trying to keep her in reality. I just think he's got a lot going on. I don't think he can. He's married a woman who is like she cannot be controlled. So it's just he has to and that's why he loves her. She's a headstrong, very intelligent, driven person. So I think he knows who he married. Is the answer.
And what makes Mariah want to be Jessica Fletcher?
I mean, I think I really believe Mariah has been the way she's been from birth, and she's just gotten more strong-willed probably as the years have gone by. Yeah.
All right. So then my question now is, how did you want to make the character your own outside of what the book calls the character and what the script calls for?
That's a good question. I never felt hemmed in by the book. I think when I was first auditioning for the role, I actually didn't know it was based on a book. But I think in reading the character, there were a couple of real women that came to mind, and that were sort of inspiration for the exploration of Mariah. And then I realized kind of in doing it how much that sort of fell away, and it just, I don't know, she sort of really took on her own life, and yeah.
What about you, Bryan?
I mean, I think in the book, Howard was pretty, he had a smaller role than he does in the series. And then the scripts came in, and they're great. And so I'm not trying to be critical of anything that the Sherman Payne, the showrunner, created. But I do think one of the traps of playing Howard was just to be a pushover. And so for me, I tried to find where are his strengths? Why is she attracted to him? It's not because he's a doormat, right? He's got to be a force of nature in his own right. So it was a fun character to play, to be a support, like a strong doormat.
No.
So Talcott's hobby is basically listening to rap music. What's Mariah's hobby?
She listens to country.
No. What is Mariah's hobby? I mean, listen, she's got 5 kids, so I would say that's hobby. Motherhood is probably her hobby, because that's probably about her level of involvement with the children outside of birthing them. And not that she doesn't love her kids, but I think that she's someone who
outsources.
Yeah. Sure.
Listen, everybody's looking forward. Go ahead.
And more than just motherhood.
But I think that's the cool thing about the show, is that Mariah's trying to find herself. She's trying to find her hobby, because she felt like she's lost herself in motherhood and in this new role, where she used to be had like a really successful journalist, and now this death sort of awakens this part of her, and she's trying to find that. And Howard's trying to support that.
Yeah. A more diminished version of Mariah, if there is such a thing. And I don't know if it comes across any more diminished than, when she's in full bloom, but it was certainly interesting to try to, course out that trajectory for her over this season. Um, and really interesting, like meaty character to play for those reasons.
Congrats on the series. Congrats on the roles. People have read the book and they're looking forward to seeing how this plays out as an adaptation. Let's hope we can get a season 2 out of this. We see more of your characters and have it more fleshed out. That way I can talk to you guys again. So take care. We'll talk down the road.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Smiles from Black Comedy TV. Hello, folks. How's it going?
Hey,
Wilson.
Both of you guys represent the mystery in the series. So I'm not going to ask you, what goes on, but how would you best describe your characters? Jasmine?
Oh, I would describe Maxine as sexy, mysterious, and a little dangerous.
And I'm very dangerous, not very sexy. I'm very loyal, but I'm also very demanding of payment in kind when I'm expecting payment in kind.
Okay, so then how would you play, how did you want to play the characters outside of what the book called for, as well as the script, to make it your own?
Well, the book actually, the character of Jack Ziegler in the book is very similar to the character in the series. So I did a lot of creating in my own mind what would motivate someone to be, an international criminal. And it's a fun thing to do as an actor, to come up with part of me that might be that kind of person. So that's all I did. I found the kind of the nastiest parts of myself and brought them forward into the scenes.
I would say Stephen's book is a really good jumping off part for me. I really liked how he wrote things about Maxine's smile and her sense of humor. And I really took that and ran with it, and then let my relationship with Talcott in the moment kind of inform more about who she was.
Going back, before you said yes to taking on this series, what came first? Did you read the book? Were you aware of it, or did you have to read the book as you were trying to get on the series?
I got the call to put something on tape, and I ordered the book that day, and I got it on Amazon and started reading it. And when I got a call back, I was pretty much done with the book. And I jumped through it to get to me.
Oh, did
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had only so much time, but I have read the whole book, but in order to find out what I needed to know, I just jumped ahead, and every time it said Jack Ziegler, I figured out what was there. And I had a great time reading the book. I think it's just a wonderfully well-written novel, very suspenseful, great thriller, and it was a blast.
Yeah, we did almost the same thing.
Yeah,
I mean, if you look at the copy of the book that I have, it's like everything that has anything to do with Maxine is highlighted. There are notes by it. There's like little sticky notes, because I'm a total nerd and I love reading any and everything, all research I can do. So yeah, I did the exact same thing. We're kind of very similar.
Yeah, you're Capricorn, right?
Yeah, Capricorn,
okay,
come on. And then afterward, I just tried to have as many conversations with Sherman, the showrunner, as I could, to learn what he was thinking, because the book and the show are very similar, but they differ a little bit. So I just wanted to know what he was thinking in terms of what Maxine was like, what she was really after, and what her role would be in his creation.
Having said that, I always say actors can never stop learning. And although it's season 1, is there anything you picked up from doing this series, working with Sherman and Damien, that helps you guys skill set wise as actors to whether you go on to a season 2 or to whatever project you do next?
Oh, can I answer this first?
Go back, please.
Do you know what I never thought I would be an action star girly. I never thought I wanted to, but I was like, Jasmine, you're 5'2". You're a little brainy, like, I don't know. But in this series, I get to be so cool. I'm running. I'm doing a lot of other things that I can't necessarily say at this point in time, but I get to go full action star. And that was something that was so thrilling. And I'm super excited to see what Maxine gets to do next. And now it's going to be in my back pocket. So whatever else comes after this, I'm going to be like, I can run, I can shoot, I can chase people. Like I drive fast cars, hire me,
And I would say I just love I love playing bad guys. I think it's a real it's much more fun than just being good. Nobody likes good people, they like bad people. So in the series, it's a great thing to be able to be about as evil as I can possibly be. And really think these 10 episodes starting on July 14th, going to September 15th, people are going to want more.
Well, congrats on the roles you guys are playing. Congrats on the series. Let's hope we can get a season 2, because I think people want more. I think when you can hopefully get a second season, that spells confidence, and then they can flush out the characters to see what more there is to them. So hopefully we'll talk down the road. But for now, let's see where your characters go, and we'll be looking forward to seeing it week after week. Take care.
Thanks so much.
Wilson Miles from Black Film TV. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey Wilson. Wilson, you everywhere, man.
I just try to be here and there, but for the most part,
I saw you in New York last. Oh, that's crazy, because I saw Wilson in the New Orleans airport like 3 days ago. Bro. He really is. He literally is everywhere. You really are, man.
But here we are, Emperor of Ocean Park. What went into adapting this, and for those who read the book, are they going to get a true adaptation, or do you take liberties?
That's a really great question. I mean, we loved the central mystery of the book from the start. We thought it was so compelling. These characters are really rich, unique characters that we haven't seen before. But of course, when you adapt stuff, you have to sort of twist it and turn it to make it fit the medium. So I think people will see the true spirit and essence of the book and the mystery that's in the book, but I think they'll also have some nice surprises with some new things that we added in. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, as I watch some of these episodes, it's very 90s, very hip hop. You had me from the minute I started hearing Big Pun. Was that part of the book, or you just wanted to add a little flavor to it?
Man, that was all for Sherman, man. Sherman from day one said he wanted this thing to sound, I was always about the on location and making it feel real, right? So I think Sherman definitely added the soundtrack to what that should sound like, because I honestly didn't have anything in mind. I was always like, I want to see these faces. I want to see these Black faces against the Chicago architecture. And I want the Garland family to feel honest, real, and like they actually live in this home. So I didn't want it to be on a stage. But yeah, he brilliantly scored exactly what that soundtrack should be, man.
I mean, we from the beginning, Damien came on this project as early as anybody. We've been working on this thing since the script stage and the pitch stage. And what we always talked about early on was this inclusion of Nas in the pilot, and also the idea that Tal is a hip hop head. He is a high powered academic and law professor, but he's also a Black man in his early 40s, and this has been the soundtrack of his life. So it was really important for us to incorporate that throughout.
Since he's now played Ronnie on Power and got a bigger visibility, people now know who Grantham Coleman is. I knew about the work he's done on stage. What led you guys to bring him on as lead opposite Forrest? What did you see in him that said he can carry this?
Well, Grantham Coleman was reading for us while I was filming him in Texas in Bass Reeves. And so he came to our production in Bass Reeves. Day one, I saw Grantham Coleman, just body a 7-page monologue. And that wasn't just bodying a monologue. It was against David Oyelowo. It was against Lauren Banks. It was against Joaquina, who was a terrific Broadway performer. And I said, who is this guy? I didn't know who he was. So like Sherman said, we've been talking about this for so long. I really asked the team, please take a look at Grantham Coleman. And then little do we know, Grantham's father is an actual judge, and he begins to morph into Talcott Garland for us right before our eyes.
I can't say much more about Grantham except that he is extraordinarily talented. If people are just getting to know him as Ronnie, which I know is a sort of beloved / hated character in the Power universe, you're going to love him even more as Grantham. As Talcott Garland, because he can embody all these different sides. He could be a drug dealer from Queens, and he can also be a law professor from Chicago. He kills it all.
is this series more a family drama or a murder mystery? And I always think that, whenever you have a family in a series, there's always turmoil within the family. There's always, no one's happy, whether it's sibling against sibling, who gets the throne, whether it's the older brother jilted, or the older sibling jilted. What are we supposed to get out of this series? How would you best describe the series?
I mean, I'll jump in and say that it checks all those boxes. I mean, first and foremost, I think what's going to hook people is this central mystery, this conspiracy, the sort of suspense thriller elements of it. But we wanted to show a full 360 view of these characters' lives. So these are people with, again, 3D full lives. And that means that they have romantic entanglements and career issues that they're dealing with and issues amongst the family and the siblings. We wanted to do a little bit of it all. And that's really borrowed from the book. The book really focuses on Tal's complete life. And we wanted to bring an element of that to the show, of course.
I'm going to wrap it up, but is this more of a limited series, getting everything from the book, or is there more to come and you guys are hoping there's a season 2?
I'm hoping that there's a season, 6, 7, 8. I mean, I think that this story could really go on for a long time with new mysteries, new twists and turns. So bring it on.
We need people to watch it though, if it's going to continue. We can't just make it for 6 people. So,
Come on, check it out.
Well, that's where we're here to make sure everybody knows about it. Congrats on the work. Obviously, it's just getting people to get to MGM Plus. Stay tuned, and obviously Force is already there. Now we got to bring in a whole new audience. We'll talk down the road, folks.
Thank you.